Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the ESheShed Chronicles, where I am your girl, Model E. Yes, how you guys have been doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're being prosperous, and I also hope y'all out there getting that bag. That's right. So thank you for listening to the ESheShed Chronicles, and also telling a friend about your girl, because honey, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the feedback from you guys, and y'all just gotta realize that this is just me. This is your girl. If I can't be me, who am I to be? Y'all heard that? Oh my God, that was a good little rhyme. I like that. I like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. And I want to tell y'all something about what I heard my youngest child said one day. He was on the video games playing with his friends, and to remind you, he is 9 years old. So I was doing laundry, and I walk back and forth by their room, so I hear everything that they're saying. And I heard him say, "I gotta go whiz." I said, "Hold up, I gotta go whiz." And I just sit and I just listen to see if anything else is going to come behind it. And he got up and he went to the bathroom. And when he got out the bathroom, I stopped him. I said, "Hey, where did you heard that from?" He said, "What?" I say, "Whiz." He said, "Oh, that's just something that I say." I said, "I've never heard you say that before." And I said, "You never heard nobody else in this house said it either." I say, in my opinion, the only person that, or people that I ever hear say that, is older men. And my oldest was like, "Mom, all he said was whiz." I was like, "Have you heard of it before?" He was like, "No, I've never heard of it before." He was like, "But I ain't heard no old people say that." I said, "Well, how many old people you be around?" I say, "I raised up around a whole lot of, older men, and I used to hear them say things like that because, of the era, right?" And so they was like, "It's not nothing." I said, "How you mean it's not nothing?" I said, "I'm not saying that it's not nothing. I'm just saying that it's a term that I don't hear kids your age speak about. That's all." And then he was like, "Well, is it bad?" I say, "No, it's not really bad." I say, "But it's just kind of an older thing. I could be wrong, but like I say, that's just my opinion." But when I heard it, I was like, I have an old child. Like, and then speaking of old, he loves music. My youngest love music, and he's always listening to music on his Google. So he goes and he tell Google, play music. And out of the blue, we got some old school Michael Jackson playing. Now, he loves Michael Jackson. Both of them love Michael Jackson. Never seen Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has been going for a very long time. We don't really like play a bunch of Michael Jackson music, but we know it, and we speak about it every now and then. But for them to really know it, I was very curious. Like, but then I came to the conclusion that these kids, they have social media, they have YouTube, they play on these games, and a lot of these games consoles, they play a lot of music, like Eminem and all these other old artists that's been out for a long time, that these game systems, by them playing on the game, they're actually bringing these artists back. And I love the fact, like, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that they know Michael Jackson and a whole lot of other old music that we used to listen to when we were younger around our parents. We can be around the house singing something and they will immediately recognize it. Or they can be singing something. It may be in a little different form, but they will be singing it. And I'm like, wow, like, it's kind of dope actually. So I just want to, rant on that. But when he said whiz, I just knew of older men who was out drinking all the time saying, "Oh, I got to go whiz," or something like that. I was just amazed at these little things. So, y'all, pay attention to what your kids are saying, because they know more than you think. Right. And then speaking of knowing more than you think, women, how many of you go around about half your day or all day and notice that your underwear is on backwards? Yes, I said your underwear is on backwards. Your back is in your front, or your front is in the back, or it's completely flipped over inside out. Well, I do it a lot. It's nothing, it's usual for me, So, I wake up in the morning and I put some underwear on and I'm thinking that it's on the right side. And, next time I go to the bathroom again, guess what? Boom, I'm seeing the tag. I know a lot of y'all experience that. I know y'all do. I'm not the only one. So don't sit here and think that I'm the only one, because I'm not. You also can be getting some good and, you got to hurry up, put your underwear on, and now it is on any type of way. It is what it is. These are things that we experience, and it's us women that go through it. Men can't do it because y'all have a hole the majority of the time in the front of y'all boxers, y'all boxer briefs. So y'all can't do the whole, backwards thing. Y'all gotta put y'all stuff on right. But us as women, we experience a whole lot of things, and a lot of stuff we don't even say because clearly it ain't nobody's business. Okay. All right. Here is the thing. It's something that's becoming a little pet peeve in my house. And I've been saying this for a while and I constantly repeat it. And it's not so much of my husband. He will do it. But most of the time it's like, it's my job. But I'm saying for the kids, like for them to get used to, because they are coming to an age where they are very self-sufficient. They are going to be adults soon, especially one of them. And I just feel that the little things that needs to be done inside a home, it's time for it to be learned. Okay? Yes, learned. And that little pet peeve of mine is closing the blinds. Yes, I have a thing with blinds, and my family knows that. Like, I don't like bent blinds. I don't like open wide blinds, like you outside being nosy. Well, first of all, you can't really have blinds in my house because I have wood blinds. But my blinds got to be nice, neat, and clean. Okay? And to throw into that is to have the blinds closed. I'm a person, my husband always tell me, as soon as it get dark, no, he said as soon as the sun goes down, you start shutting down everything. Yes, pretty much I do. Because now I feel like, okay, it's time to settle down now. So that means it's time for everything to start settling like me. So, as for the kids, they walk up and down the stairs through so many windows a day at night, and they just walk past the blinds and they just open. It's dark outside, but the blinds still open. And a couple times I have just did the same thing, walk on by, leave the blinds open just to see if anybody realized, mama be telling me that I need to close the blinds. Let me go in and close the blind. But no, they just walk past the blind. I know that's a pet peeve of mine, but that's just something that I wanted to get off my chest. So boys, if y'all ever listen to the ESheShed Chronicles on this episode and you hear your mom talking about blinds, immediately call me and let me know and say, Mom, you know what? I'm sorry, we haven't been closing the blinds and we promise to do better. So close the blinds, okay? All right, dang, moving on. So I know y'all been hearing this conversation a lot, and I have been too. And I know it's a lot of things that I talk about. I say that we should not be talking about at these age that we are, but I see as times go by that these conversations still needs to be had because we don't have the knowledge and the education that we should have. So we're going to continue to talk about it. So there are many people out there, especially females, saying that we should not use soap down there. Now, my question is, when you say down there, what are you talking about? Are you talking about over there to the left, or over there down the road past the stop sign to the right? Like, which over there are you talking about? Or which down there are you talking? Because I know you're not talking about the feminine part of down there, which is the women's vajayjay. But I'm going to tell y'all a little story, okay? My gynecologist told me that you don't have to put soap down there in your vagina. She said your vagina is like a self-cleaning oven, meaning it cleans itself, right? When she said that, I looked at her pretty strange, and I ran that in the back of my mind and was like, lady, you know what? My mom used to put so much soap on me when I was little, to the point where my grandmother used to tell her, you better stop putting all that soap in that, girl. And I've had so many issues throughout my younger years with BVs and YVs because of all that soap, because that's what I was taught. That what was, taught down to me of how to clean myself. So one day I decided, I said, you know what? I'm gonna not completely not use soap, but I'm gonna put a little bit of soap on the towel. And then I'm gonna, wring it out. I'm not gonna have it bubbling with soap. And then I'm gonna just gently light, pat it, right? And then I was like, I think this could work, I kept doing it for a little while, and it was very less irritant, I must say. So I went back to the gynecologist, like the next year or so for a checkup. And I told her, I said, hey, doc, I took your advice. I said, not to the full extent. I said, but I took your advice of not putting much soap down there. And she said, well, how do you feel? I said, well, to be honest, I said, it felt good. I didn't irritate it as much. I said, it did feel good. And so it was something that I, continue to practice with as the time go by. And I'm saying this because I think this is a good learning experience for younger women and older women, because as a woman, we do go through a lot with our bodies, because our vagina is very sensitive. And if you don't do the research, you don't take time to understand, then it could be hard. You could be getting all these yeast infections, you can be getting all these BVs and not knowing how to stop it, instead of going to the doctor, popping some pills, and then it causes to have a yeast infection later. Then you go back to the doctor again and you pop some pills, and now it has taken away all your good bacteria and you're hurting again. And that's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's not. So washing down there very lightly, pat drying it, and just, let the water run, it works. But I must say there are like two soaps that really resonates with my body. And when I say resonates, that means do me real well with my body, that I don't have to worry about anything, is Ivory soap. Sometimes Dial. So I'm gonna give y'all three. Every now and then Dial. But my second soap is going to be Dove, because I think those moisturizers are very faint. They don't have much of a scent, a perfume scent to it. So therefore, it helps nourishes down there. So I'm not going to say don't completely wash, because if you come to me and you said, I don't wash with soap, I'm going to look at you like you stink, because I'm sure you are stink, okay? And I know that's mean to say, but us as women, we need to not just listen to everything that we hear on social media and take it and run with it. There are some things that you take with a grain of salt, okay? Meaning, don't rely too much into it. Don't take the whole truth, because it's not the whole truth. Part of it is just true. So do your due diligence, wash your vajayjay, and you wash your butt too, okay? Do that too. Don't leave that out. Please don't leave that out. But I'm just saying, take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. And when it's time for you to, put that little underwear on and you realize it's backwards, it won't be no difference. You won't realize it because you're clean, and you won't be like, damn, I have my ass in my front all day. Yeah. Okay, all right. All right, I digress. All right, guys. So this is going to conclude this ESheShed Chronicles. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend, and follow me on Instagram at Model E. That's MODEL_E_. Also follow my Got What You Need page. That's GWN Network. And make sure you follow on YouTube, because that is the only place that you're going to see this video. All right? So stay tuned. Peace.